project and said they had talked to Gray, wanting the Durham district to build a house in celebration of Habitat's 25 years in Durham. And for me, that's kind of completing the circle because I helped introduce Habitat to the community through my television show about 25 years ago. When I talked to Gray, he said, go to the Methodist ministers' meeting in August and offer them this possibility. I did, and about 5 churches responded, and they became our planning committee. We decided very quickly that we were going to take a leap of faith because people were a little concerned about the economy and whether we could raise $50,000. But we decided that if we took one step in faith, God would do the rest with us. And he did, beautifully, and with a lot of surprises. Nice ones, I might mention. We had 2 goals. One was to raise $50,000 and for our part of sponsoring the house, and to do that by the end of February. And secondly, to start building the house on March 6th and finish by the end of June. And as you can see, we did that. Our second goal was to build community between our churches, to strengthen the bond we had. And that has happened in wonderful, wonderful ways. The first thing our committee decided to do was have a kickoff dinner at Trinity Methodist Church. Russ did his famous thing and cooked a meal and invited people to come and learn what we were thinking about doing. Juanita Evans, who was the homeowner from the last house we built, was there to talk about her experience. Colin Blackburn from McMahon was a teenager who explained the 2x4 project and invited people to participate in one so they'd know how to do it in their churches. And we asked people to choose coordinators from their church and come to meetings to help plan the barbecue dinner that we were going to do in October. We ended up having 7 churches and over 71 volunteers at McMahon that day who cooked meals starting at midnight the night before, packaged them, got them to the distribution centers, and a lot more of you sold tickets and ate barbecue. We raised our first $7,500 that day, and we accomplished a good portion of our second goal, which was to build community. People came up to me and said, oh, this was so much fun, let's do it again. I'd been standing on my feet for 14 hours, and other people had been there for 20, and I don't think we were just eager to do it in the next couple of months, but we did. We really had fun the whole time. All of you, I think, probably participated in the 2x4 projects, signed messages of blessings and prayers and hopes for the homeowner at that time, because we didn't know who our homeowner was yet. We had the dinner in October, and near the end of October, I think, we were assigned our partner, Martha Nance. Now, Habitat thinks they put us together, but we know that that just came straight from God, because Martha had stayed in a lot of our churches when she was in the IHN program. She knew a lot of people. She came in to be introduced to our committee, and she said, oh, I know you. I know you. Aren't you from such and such a church? And she just lit up the room. She made a lot of friends way back then, and she's made a whole lot more now. We raised our money by the end of February, as we had hoped to do, with some surprising gifts. One was a challenge grant from the Stewardship Foundation in Raleigh. One was a gift from the Mildred and James Wilkinson estate, and the other was donations from Milo's restaurant, which a lot of you had a part in by eating there. Then we started on March 6th, as I said, to build the house. The volunteers in this project have just been fantastic. It was kind of complicated getting 14 churches' efforts coordinated to provide volunteers for the day and meals and morning and afternoon snacks. In that whole time, I never had one complaint from anyone about anything. People were just thanking me for the opportunity to work on this project. The spirit of the volunteers has just been amazing to see. How How many of you worked on the retaining wall? How many of you worked on it more than once? You know, the unbelievable thing was, no matter what we were asked to do, people did it without complaining. I heard some people digging the ditches say that they had a new appreciation for ditch diggers. But no one complained. I'm sure a lot of Advil was consumed. I'm sure there were a lot of groans and aching bodies on Sunday and maybe Monday and Tuesday after that. But people came back and they did it again. And they did it with a smile. I understand that we have set a couple of habitat records, and you habitat people may want to correct me if this is not true, but this is what I've been told. The first record's not so good. We had more accidents on site than anybody else. Most of those accidents had the potential to be really life-threatening, and none of them were. So we thank God for keeping us that safe. The second one is a little better. It's my understanding that this is the first house, I don't know if it's this year or in the history of Habitat, that has passed every inspection on the first try.
Right. Okay.
And a lot of that, I think, is due to the kind of people we had working here. I need to mention a special group, the Mount Sylvan Saints. They always work on a Habitat house every Wednesday somewhere in Durham. But when we started Martha's house, they said, hey, we're going to work on Martha's house exclusively until it's done. And they have been here every single Wednesday. Even when we took off Easter Saturday and Memorial Weekend, they were here that Wednesday to work on the house. And we had a lot of people from our churches who knew their way around the construction site and made a big difference. And I have a gift for Martha.
Thank you for all you do, all you have done.
Martha, on behalf of Epworth, well, on behalf of Scott, I'd like to thank you. It's an honor working for you, with you, especially up on the roofs. We made it down even though you didn't want to come down once you got up there. But the ladies at Epworth needed you a prayer shawl as a
Thank you.
we love you. I love you.
The James and Mildred Wilkinson Trust, we're representatives of my family. We want to give you a check that'll help you with something else that you might need if you need some furniture or something.